और सिर्फ 360 रुपए महीने से शुरू।
Welcome back, viewers. Let's track all the latest development of this hour in the Uttarakhand rape case. Days after the 37-year-old expelled Bharatiya Janata Party district leader and her boyfriend and his aide have been arrested in connection with the gang rape and the sexual exploitation of the woman's 13-year-old daughter, police has issued a statement saying that the minor was gang raped at least 8 times, allegedly in the presence of her mother. The former BJP leader allegedly used to take her daughter on trips during which he forced the minor to consume liquor and indulge in sexual acts. The minor told police that she was gang raped 8 times, every time in the presence of her mother. The first such incident took place inside the car in January, and the abuse continued at various locations, including the hotels in Agra and Vrindavan. And during their trips, the march, she was also assaulted in a hotel in Haridwar that was leased out in the name of the woman and her boyfriend. Sanjay Srivastava is joining me live on the broadcast to share more details. Sanjay, these are in fact the very shocking, disturbing details that we are tracking in the Uttarakhand rape case of the minor, where the mother's consent was given to conduct these acts and to commit such crimes, where both of them, mother and lover, have been held in the horrific rape case of their daughter. What are you picking up as far as the probe is concerned? Where are the accused, and in fact, what is the statement that has been issued by the minor to the police saying?
दरअसल ये मामला बहुत पहले से आमजन में था, लेकिन जब इसकी शिकायत हुई तो शिकायत के बाद पुलिस ने एक्शन लिया, और एक्शन लेने के बाद ये भाजपा नेत्री और तथाकथित उनके बॉयफ्रेंड को जब गिरफ्तार किया गया, तब पता चला कि उस नाबालिग लड़की के साथ जबरदस्ती कई बार गैंग रेप के रूप में भी अपराध किया गया है। ये मामला केवल हरिद्वार तक सीमित नहीं था, उत्तर प्रदेश के कई जिलों में वहां पे जा करके उसको बहला के फुसला करके जो बड़े लोग हैं उनके साथ उसको अवैध रूप से संबंध बनाने के लिए प्रेरित किया गया। और इन सब के साथ अगर जांच चल रही है और जांच में जब सामने लोग इंतजार कर रहे हैं, तो ये भी माना जा रहा है कि कुछ बड़े चेहरे भी बेनकाब होंगे। जी।
All right, Sanjay, thank you very much for sharing these latest details. Now joining me on the broadcast is Pramendra Dobal, who is the SSP of Haridwar, in fact, to share about the kind of horrific incident that has come forward. Thank you very much for speaking to us, Mr. Dobal. And now the trial has been booked under the POCSO Act and the BNS, including gang rape. How did the police, specifically in Haridwar and in the Ranapur range of the police station, did come to know about such incident, and how difficult was this to understand from the victim's point of view, which in this case is a minor?
थैंक यू सिमरन जी। हरिद्वार पुलिस में सबसे पहले ये जब बात संज्ञान में आई थी, कोतवाली रानीपुर के जो SHO द्वारा इसको ब्रीफ किया गया, क्योंकि मामला एक नाबालिग बच्ची का था और उसमें जितने भी हमारे पोक्सो एक्ट के तहत जो हमारी SOP है उसको पालन किया जाना नितांत आवश्यक था, जिसमें बच्ची की और जो भी एक्यूज हैं उनकी पहचान को भी गुप्त रखा जाता है, ताकि उस चीज को बाहर ना आ सके वो, क्योंकि कोर्ट के ट्रायल के अंदर में ही उसी क्षेत्राधिकार में होता है। बच्ची ने जो इंसिडेंट हमें बताया था वो वाकई में बहुत हॉरिफाई था, क्योंकि बच्ची 12 साल की थी और उसके द्वारा उसकी माँ और उसके फ्रेंड और उसके एक और दोस्त था, उन 3 लोगों के द्वारा प्रताड़ित किए जाने की बात संज्ञान में आई। बच्ची का तत्काल मेडिकल कराया गया, तत्काल अभियोग पंजीकृत किया गया और उसमें बच्ची के 164 के बयान कराए गए थे, जिसमें बच्ची के द्वारा इस घटना की पुष्टि की गई थी। मेडिकल में भी प्रथम दृष्टया पुष्टि हुई है इसको संज्ञान में रखते हुए हरिद्वार पुलिस में थाना कोतवाली पुलिस द्वारा 3 लोगों को अरेस्ट किया गया है और न्यायालय अभिरक्षा में रिमांड हेतु भेजा गया है। अभी क्योंकि विवेचना चल रही है, इसमें बहुत ज्यादा डिस्क्लोज करना मेरे स्तर से भी संभव नहीं है, लेकिन इसमें जो भी कार्रवाई होगी वो सख्त कार्रवाई होगी और जो भी लोग इसमें सम्मिलित हैं उनके खिलाफ जो भी एविडेंस आएंगे उसको विवेचना में सम्मिलित किया जाएगा।
मिस्टर डोबल, क्या इस पूरी घटना के पीछे ये भी देखा जा रहा है कि ऐसा कोई मोटिव निकल के आया है, क्योंकि अभी अंडर इन्वेस्टिगेशन है, केस रजिस्टर हुआ है, बट सवाल तो तमाम ये भी खड़े होते हैं कि किस तरीके से जो एक 12 साल की बच्ची है जिसे नहीं पता था कि उसके साथ किस तरीके की घटनाएं हो रही हैं और जिसमें उसकी खुद की माँ इन्वॉल्व थी, इसके पीछे के मोटिव्स को अब तक क्या पुलिस इंटेरोगेशन और जो टीम्स अभी गठित हुई हैं उनके द्वारा बातचीत में सामने लाया गया है?
जैसे मैंने आपको बताया, इसके लिए एक टीम जो विवेचना के लिए गठित की गई है और बच्ची को उसको जिस ट्रॉमा में वो अभी है उसके लिए हम लोगों के द्वारा जो प्रॉपर तरीके से एक टीम बनाई गई है जो उसको उनसे पूछताछ कर सके ठीक से, और जो भी सर्कमस्टांसेस थे उसमें जो भी लोग सम्मिलित हैं और जहां जहां पर यह घटना हुई है वहां पर टीम हमारी जाके अभी वहां से एविडेंस लेगी, क्योंकि अभी इन्वेस्टिगेशन स्टार्ट हुई है। इसको कंप्लीशन में अभी हमें हफ्ता भर कम से कम चाहिए जिसको सभी एविडेंस को हम लोग कलेक्ट कर सकें, तभी हम किसी कंक्लूजन में पहुंचेंगे। इनिशियली ये चीजों की पुष्टि हुई है इसलिए इनकी अरेस्टिंग की गई है। जी, थैंक यू।
All right, Mr. Dobal, thank you very much for being with us on the broadcast and in fact sharing the updates that we are tracking very closely here. And now joining me live on the telecast is Mr. Vikram Singh, who's the ex-DGP of the Uttar Pradesh Police. Thank you very much for being with us, sir, as in fact we are gathering more details and in fact the nitty-gritties of the case are very disturbing. Unfortunately, this is not the first of the cases that have emerged from the discourse of the horrific crimes that we see being committed against the minors, but in this case what pertains to be is the involvement of her own mother. How do you react to such rampant cases and in fact the reason behind such cases coming up at this point of time? This minor girl must have witnessed years of trauma to also in fact muster up the courage to go and speak to their father about such acts that have been committed in the presence of her mother.
Good afternoon, Simran. Nothing shocks and surprises me any longer. This level of depravity is the rarest of the rare case, and I do strongly recommend, as Mr. Doval has said, that her statement has been recorded under old 164 CRPC, current 183 Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita. But I do hope there are women investigators who will go to the bottom of this. I would not trust any male investigator. I have yet to know, and I will be very satisfied if it is confirmed that the POCSO Act has also been invoked in this case. But the complicity of the mother adds a new dimension to the societal issues when it comes to the depravity and the perversion. Even animals would be more responsible and protective towards their children than human beings like this psychologically challenged mother. I will stop at that, but Simran, I would say that this investigation should be concluded with the medical report and all the forensics, etc., within the next 15 days, put into a fast track court, and ensure it doesn't really matter who the accused is, whether BJP or any party. But the bottom line is that such monsters need to be punished in record time, when it will not help if he belongs to the ruling party or any other political outfit. And the mother too is a willing accessory to the crime. Therefore, I would strongly recommend the mother deserves an even heavier punishment, and the child should be, I would recommend, should be in the custody of the father or the juvenile homes. Certainly not with this kind of a depraved and a pervert mother.
Well, definitely, Mr. Singh, as Anamika, the woman here in contention, has held the BJP women morchas in Haridwar district. But after the news crippled about her name in the case, she was stripped from the party post. She has not held a party post post 2024, but at the same time, it remains to be of importance, of a lot of prominence about what kind of a people are we witnessing around us in the leadership close to the political significance. Is that not a bigger question to look at such cases which have been coming up, which also defames the kind of recognition, respect and the kind of influence of a political party?
Let me tell you that I tend to agree with Gunther Grass when he said lofty ideals but lowly conduct. The society has fallen to a new low. It will put to shame even the permissive society of the West. The depravity that the mother has displayed and shown. I know she may have been divested of her role in the BJP or any ruling party, but the fact of the matter is that the societal questions that arise if the mother herself is a willing accessory to the exploitation and the sexual and the brutal exploitation of her own daughter, legitimate daughter, her own flesh and blood, well, it requires a deeper psychological analysis, investigation, and indeed a white paper on this investigation would go to show to the window of the personality of such a depraved accused. I would not say it is a normal crime, it is depravity of the worst kind, and therefore I would advise the psychologists, the psychometrists, and also professional investigators to get inside the eyeballs of the mother and see what ultimately prompted her to do what she did.
All right, Mr. Singh, thank you very much for being with us on the broadcast and also sharing your take on to what exactly seems to be behind such horrific and heinous crime that we see only increasing, including the women and the minor girls as well. Now from there, let's also take a look at the other developments that we are tracking very closely from West Bengal. The West Bengal police have filed a charge sheet against 13 individuals in connection with the brutal murder of a 74-year-old Haragobind Das and his 40-year-old son Chandan Das, who have been killed during the communal unrest in Murshidabad's Zafrabad area on the 11th of April. According to the senior officer, the charge sheet was submitted within 55 days of the crime and names the 13 accused. While the exact charges and the identities remain undisclosed so far, the reports from the time of the incident have described that Das family home in Betbona village has been stormed, with the victims dragged out and fatally attacked with an axe. A man allegedly stood the guard to ensure that they did not survive. Renik Datta is joining me with more details. Renik, this is the latest that we are tracking in the unrest and the aftermath of the Murshidabad riots. And in fact, at this point of time, it is important to understand that the reports which are coming out are also pointing out details which are so far unconfirmed. Share more details as to what you are picking up that we can understand with confirmation.
देखिए 11 अप्रैल 2025 को ये जो मुर्शिदाबाद में वक्फ बिल को लेकर विरोध चल रहा था, उसी दौरान 12 अप्रैल हरगोविंद दास और उसके साथ चंदन दास, ये दोनों को मुर्शिदाबाद का जफराबाद में पीट कर हत्या किया गया था। इसी का मामले पे एक एसआईटी वेस्ट बंगाल पुलिस की तरफ से दर्ज किया गया था। उस एसआईटी के इन्वेस्टिगेशन में टोटल 12 लोगों को गिरफ्तार किया गया था, जिसके बाद 12 लोगों को पूछताछ करने के बाद जो मेन एक्यूज था उनको भी गिरफ्तार किया गया था। पूरा ये मामले का 55 दिन बाद कल एसआईटी की तरफ से ये पूरा मामले पर चार्जशीट पेश किया गया है। जैसे कि शमशेरगंज पुलिस स्टेशन का तरफ से इंफॉर्मेशन मिल रहा है कि कल दोपहर को मुर्शिदाबाद का ये पूरा मामले पर चार्जशीट पेश किया है एसआईटी ने, और एसआईटी का ये चार्जशीट में भारतीय न्याय सुरक्षा संहिता का 191/1/2/3 और उसके साथ 332, 331 क्लॉज 1, क्लॉज 2, क्लॉज 3 और उसके साथ साथ 310 और 334 धारा में इन लोगों के खिलाफ में, यानी टोटल 13 लोगों के खिलाफ में चार्जशीट जो है वो फाइल किया गया है। एसआईटी का इन्वेस्टिगेशन के मुताबिक ये जो 13 लोग हैं, ये हिंसा के दौरान ही ये दोनों परिवार के ऊपर हमला किया था। पिता और पुत्र को घर से बाहर लेके जाके उनको पीट कर हत्या किया गया था। ये पूरा जो हत्याकांड घटाया गया था, उसमें इन्वेस्टिगेशन में क्या क्या निकल के आया है वो भी चार्जशीट में मेंशन किया गया है। और उसके साथ साथ ही चार्जशीट में ये भी मेंशन किया गया है कि घटना घटाने के बाद ये जो 13 लोग कहाँ छुपे हुए थे, कहाँ भाग गए थे और इनके पीछे कौन कौन है वो भी कहा गया है। ये पहला जो चार्जशीट एसआईटी की तरफ से पेश किया गया है। 55 दिन के अंदर ही ये जो चार्जशीट पेश किया गया है।
All right, Renik, thank you very much for sharing the latest updates. Now, from there, in a big sign of India-Canada ties healing after hitting an all-time low under the former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, his successor Mark Carney has invited Prime Minister Narendra Modi for the G7 summit in the countries later this month. Now, indicating that he will attend. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also said that he is looking forward to meeting Mr. Carney at the summit, which will be held from the 15th to 17th June. Taking to X, PM Modi also wrote that he has received a call from the Canadian Prime Minister and that the two countries would work together with the renewed vigor guided by mutual respect. Mehndi Garg is joining me with more updates that she's tracking. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also responded to the invitation that has been sought by the Prime Minister of Canada. Mehndi, as far as this India-Canada tie in pertaining to the G7 summit is concerned, what are you picking up as far as reactions from the political leadership of both the sides is concerned?
Well, indeed, Simran, now the Prime Minister Narendra Modi has, mentioned that he had a warm conversation with newly elected Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney and also congratulating him on his recent electoral victory. And now Prime Minister Modi has also confirmed his participation in the upcoming G7 summit. And, taking to his X platform also, he mentioned that how he was glad to receive a call from Prime Minister Mark Carney. And also, on the invitation by Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, Prime Minister Modi accepted the invitation now and has also thanked him for the invitation. And he also added that India and Canada, as vibrant democracies bound by deep people-to-people ties, would work together. And not only this, but PM Modi also said that he was looking forward to their meeting at the summit. So right now, yes, various statements and reactions are coming from all over the political parties. But the most important statement that has been come in between the India-Canada diplomatic relations and between both the countries scuffle, Prime Minister Modi has himself taken cognizance and taking to his X platform has mentioned that he will be participating in the G7 summit, and indeed it is very important for both the countries as well. Yes, Simran.
All right, thank you, Mehndi, for sharing the latest take that you are tracking very closely. Now, the foreign ministers of Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan, in fact, including Uzbekistan, had a joint call with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. They have briefed him on the positive and the productive discussions which have been held during the 4th meeting of the India-Central Asia Dialogue that was held in New Delhi. And earlier during the day, during the meeting, Prime Minister Narendra Modi emphasized that relations with the Central Asian countries have always been a very key priority for India. Building upon the strong foundation of historic people-to-people ties, he shared the vision for greater economic interconnections, expanded connectivity and enhanced defense and security cooperation, while also comprehensive collaborations in the new and emerging areas to be a priority. Prime Minister have also highlighted that a strong India and Central Asia partnership serves as a force multiplier in addressing the shared regional and the global challenges. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also extended the invitation to the leaders of the all Central Asian countries for the 2nd India-Central Asia Summit to be held in India. Over the last 2 days, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar hosted the 5 Central Asian foreign ministers including Bakhtiar Saidov of Uzbekistan, Rashid Meredov of Turkmenistan and others of, in fact, major political significance continued the incidents on the cross-border terror, highlighting by the heinous April 22nd Pahalgam terror attack, which resulted in the death of 26 innocent civilians. Mehndi Garg is joining me with more updates as India hosts the 4th edition of the dialogue on the India-Central Asia Partnership Force Multiplier. Mehndi, what are you picking up as far as the dialogue between the world leaders as far as updating Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the people-to-people ties is concerned?
Well, Simran, the fourth meeting of the India-Central Asia Dialogue was held under the chairship of the External Affairs Minister of India, and indeed, it was a very important dialogue in terms of, all the world leaders sitting together and having conversation regarding the diplomatic relations between all the countries, and ministers of foreign affairs of the Republic of Kazakhstan, the Kyrgyz Republic, the Republic of Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and the Republic of Uzbekistan took part in the meeting. But if we talk about the ministers underlined the civilization, cultural, and also, Simran, people-to-people linkages between India and Central Asian countries, and also reaffirmed their commitment to, building a forward-looking, comprehensive, and also enduring India-Central Asia partnership. And not only this, Simran, but also the ministers, all the world leaders that were there in the dialogue appreciated the role of the India-Central Asia dialogue as a valuable platform for, strengthening the multifaceted cooperation and also addressing common challenges and, tapping unrealized potential. So, this particular dialogue, they also all emphasized that cooperation between India and Central Asia seeks to enhance regional peace, security, stability, sustainable economic growth, and also to, continue prosperity in the region. And after that, it is very important to note as well, Simran, that how Prime Minister also meets with the foreign ministers of all these countries, and the ministers briefed Prime Minister on fourth meeting of the Indian Central Asia Dialogue also. And PM also shares a vision for economic interconnections, connectivity, and also, defense and security cooperation and collaboration in new and emerging areas. But if we talk about Prime Minister Narendra Modi, once again, Simran, then he also highlighted that a strong India-Central Asia partnership serves as a force multiplier in addressing shared regional and also global challenges. So, Central Asian leaders strongly condemn the Pahalgam terror attack and also expresses support for fight against cross-border terrorism. So, lastly, also, Simran, Prime Minister Modi extends invitation to all the leaders of all Central Asian countries for second India-Central Asia Summit.
All right,
Yes,
Mehdi. Thank you very much with the latest updates. Now, in the latest, David Lammy is going to seek to deepen the UK-India economic ties, as he is currently in New Delhi and has said that Britain's recently agreed trade deal with the country is just the start of their ambitions. Trade and migration will be at the top of the agenda for the UK Foreign Secretary's trip, during which he will meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi as well, and he has held a meeting with the External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar. All right. Meanwhile, let's listen into what the Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar has said during the meeting with the UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy.
But at the outset, let me thank the government of the United Kingdom for the strong condemnation of the barbaric terrorist attack in Pahalgam in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, and for your solidarity and support to India in the fight against terrorism. We practice a policy of zero tolerance against terrorism and expect our partners to understand it. And we will never countenance perpetrators of evil being put at par with its.
All right, Aditya Vadawan is joining me live on the broadcast with more updates. Aditya, now this is a meeting that has taken place with the External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, and during his meeting with the UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy, he has stressed that the India-UK ties are looking at the ambitions of deepening further. What more are you picking up?
Well, absolutely, Simran. If we talk about this, the meeting between External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and UK Foreign Secretary S. David Lammy, talks went well, and UK has shown support of solidarity and support for India, and we have recently seen that as far as this economic relations between India and UK are concerned, both the countries have finalized a free trade agreement recently, which will now definitely take the economic partnership between the two countries to the next level. It is indeed very pertinent at this juncture to to robust the economic partnerships with like-minded countries like UK. And as far as terrorism is concerned, UK has condemned the cowardly terror attack that had happened in Pahalgam, and also it is pertinent to note here that UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy also visited Islamabad some days back, but the UK leadership understands the significance of the important relationships with India, be it diplomatic relations or be it economic relations. So in the times to come, we can expect some robust relations between India and UK. Yes, Simran.
All right. Thank you very much, Aditya, for sharing more details. Now from there, let's also take a look at the COVID-19 cases surge in the state of Gujarat, where Gujarat Health Minister Hrishikesh Patel has said that this Omicron virus is a virus of a COVID family, but it is not so serious. Varieties of the virus do not seem to cause any harm or death, but we all have made our arrangements, and the beds in the ventilators, including the ICU beds, that can control any situation. The cases which are coming and increasing here can happen in fact anytime, and many times in a year it seems like the wave has come. So the request, as in fact the Gujarat Health Minister has made, is that the pregnant women and patients with comorbidities should take care of themselves first, and if someone has cold, fever and cough, such symptoms should get themselves treated. He has also said that the wave is the ongoing one right now, not so serious. Let's listen in.
भारत देश के अंदर, अपने देश के अंदर करीबन 5-6 राज्यों में कोविड के केस JN1, 0.7, 0.7, जो ये ओमिक्रॉन वायरस है, वो कोविड फैमिली के ही वायरस है, लेकिन वो कोविड ऑफ इंटरेस्ट, मतलब कि ये इतने सीरियस नहीं है। WHO द्वारा भी प्रमाणित किया गया है, ये वायरस की जितनी भी वेराइटीज है उसमें कोई हानि पहुंचे, डेथ हो, बहुत झड़प से उसका फैलावा हो, ऐसी कोई बात अभी लगती नहीं है। लेकिन अपनी जो एस्टैब्लिशमेंट है, जितने बेड है, वेंटिलेटर है, ICU बेड्स है, दवाई की हमने पूरी गुजरात ने कर ली है। कहीं पर भी कोई भी सिचुएशन में उसको वो हम नियंत्रित भी कर सकते हैं, और जो ऑक्सीजन टैंक है उसका भी पूरा एक मॉक ड्रिल करके पूरी व्यवस्था की गई है। यहाँ पर जो केस बढ़ रहे हैं, साल के अंदर कई बार ऐसा होता है कि एक ऐसा वेव्स जैसा कभी कभी अभी दिखता है। तो मेरी आपसे विनती है कि जो प्रेग्नेंट लेडी है और प्रेग्नेंट लेडी के साथ जो कोमोर्बिड पेशेंट है, वो सबको ध्यान रखना।
All right, viewers. Now from there, let's also take a look at the flood situation currently emerging in Assam, where in Assam's Mori-Gaon district, which is gradually improving after the flood mayhem has wreaked havoc, but 64 villages are still affected into the deluge. The floods also affected about 200 families living in the Mayong Chapori Khaspuri area, which is located in the middle of the Brahmaputra river in the Mori-Gaon district of Assam. Mehndi Garg is joining me with more updates. All right, viewers, as in fact the floods and the landslides have hit several parts and inundated the remote villages of the northeast, the situation seems to be improving in a gradual manner. Mehndi is joining me live on the broadcast. Mehndi, as in the day that has passed as well, the Mi-17 chopper also provided relief and humanitarian material to the affected sites and the remote villages in the northeast, where the flood mayhem this season has also wreaked havoc. What more details are you picking up?
Well, Simran, right now the relief and rescue operations are underway in the north-eastern regions and more specifically Assam. And yes, rightly mentioned that in the morning, some of the aircrafts were also providing with these relief materials to the people there. But if we talk about the latest, then yes, at least 64 villages in Assam's Mori-Gaon district remain affected by floods, which, residents facing major difficulties in transportation and also assessing necessities. So there, several villagers, Simran also mentioned, they are still struggling to recover as the flood waters damaged their homes, household goods and crops like paddy and rice also. So 2 days ago, Simran, flood waters from the Brahmaputra river inundated all houses in the Mayong, Chapori, Gaspari area, and right now all the relief and rescue operations are underway, and also the state government, the central government are keeping cognizance over this matter, and trying to help all those people who are suffering from these flood-like situations. So around 200 families also, Simran, who live in the Mayong, Chapori, Gasbari area, which lies in the middle of the Brahmaputra river in Maregaon district, are still facing some of the problems. But according to the Assam State Disaster Management Authority, Simran, as per the flood report this year, floods in Assam have claimed 16 lives and 5 others died due to landslides. So around 4.44 lakh people in 18 districts of the state are reported to be still affected by the first wave of floods, which inundated 1296 villages. And not only this, Simran, but also around 16,558 hectares of crop areas across 18 flood-hit districts are currently underwater. So talking about the authorities, and also the Chief Minister, then Himanta Biswa Sarma, visited Hailakandi and Sri Bhumi district, reviewed the prevailing flood conditions with district administrations and other line departments there. And he also assured the people of Assam that, the affected people of all government help to restore normalcy, and also once the flood water recedes, all the required
all right, Mehdi, thank you very much for
and,
sharing the latest details with us on the telecast now. Viewers, on that note, with more news and updates on the other side, let's slip into a short break.